Welcome again to Seekers and Cynics. My name is Richard Bentley and this is Bodmin Road Church, and Seekers and Cynics is our weekly attempt to explain something about the Christian faith for whoever you are, wherever you're starting, just to try and help answer your questions and to help make faith clear and understandable. And this week I just wanted to share with you a really interesting conversation that I had on Easter Monday. On Easter Monday I found myself on the limestone pavement at the top of Malham Cove in the Yorkshire Dales. I'd gone out for a walk with some of my adult children. We climbed up the waterfall at Goredale Scar and then walked up to Malham Tarn. And then back down the Dry Valley, which comes out on top of this amazing geological feature, this limestone pavement. And as we walked and talked, our discussions for part of the day focused on different aspects of faith and of God, and not all of those people present, not all of my children would call themselves believers necessarily. There's a mixture of views among us, and one of my daughters had her partner with her. So yeah, it was an interesting and a lively debate, and that's good. And part of what we found ourselves thinking about, and not debating and arguing, but really trying to get to the bottom of is what is human consciousness, and where does it come from? What are we as human beings? When Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am," who is that person who's speaking? What is that I within me that can be self-reflective, that can almost stand outside of its own brain and look in, and we talk to ourselves, we say, "Why are you thinking that?" Who is that I? Where does that self-consciousness come from? And one of my daughters is a psychologist, so she brought some interesting input to the debate, and she reminded us, as indeed I've reminded us on here previously, that science does not have in any way a complete or easy understanding or explanation of what consciousness really is, or how it comes about. Science can explain lots of things really, really well, but it can't explain the human experience very well, actually. And as I say, one of my daughters is reminding us of that. And we talked about different aspects of human consciousness and how they might arise. So, I reflected on the fact that as we'd driven up from Gargrave up to Malham, my son and I, we'd had some Lord of the Rings music on in the car, and with the sunlight on the scenery, I was almost in tears. What is that? Where does that come from? What is it about the human psyche that appreciates music, a view, that finds those things moving? How does that evolve? Where does that come from? Then we talked about morality and virtue. That sense within us that some things are right and some things are wrong, that we're not just animal instinct, that there's a higher level of morality within us. And we were reflecting, could that happen naturally? Could that evolve? Does that need input from God to make us that way? And we were firing backwards and forwards some of these questions. What is it to be human? Can we explain our humanity fully in purely natural and scientific terms? Or is there another edge to us, a spiritual edge to us? And then we ended our walk, stood on that limestone pavement atop Malham Cove, looking at this amazing moving view, and reflected again on the fact that, where did all this stuff come from? And why do we appreciate beauty? What is beauty? But never mind the beauty, just the stuff itself. Is this universe really just some strange freak accident in which we got something for nothing 13 billion years ago? Or is there a planner? Is there a designer behind it all? And we were throwing this stuff backwards and forwards and really trying to think out loud together. And I suppose the question came up from the more skeptical element within the group was, well, why, if there is this God that made all this universe and made humans in his image, why isn't he a bit more clear? Why doesn't he offer us a little bit more proof? Because of course you can look at the world and find a reasonably coherent natural explanation at one level. The laws of physics and chemistry and biology do provide quite a coherent explanation for lots of things. It's not immediately obvious at one level that there is a creator. He isn't jumping out from behind every bush shouting, it's me, here I am. Surely if God is real and if he wants us to believe, he would make it a bit easier. Why do we live in this universe that at one level looks so natural? And yet at another level, and all participants in the discussion had to be honest here, there is also a level of mystery, a level of unansweredness. The world can look very hard and natural in one sense, just a product of physics, chemistry, biology, but at another level, there is a layer of mystery, there is a layer of awe and wonder in our world that seems to stretch beyond just a scientific explanation. The beauty itself and our appreciation of it and all of that. And yet none of that adds up to proof, does it? Why doesn't God just step out and prove himself? We were throwing these things around. And I'd finished the conversation with a thought that I'm going to finish this talk with, and it's this. And I think this is the answer to why God doesn't just flash himself around, that why the sky is not signed with the signature, Jesus Christ was here, please believe in me. And I think the answer is this, that God, and this isn't my own quote, this is from somewhere else, but I can't remember where, that God is a little bit like a father who plays hide and seek with his children and coughs while he's hiding. That God is a little bit like a father who plays hide and seek with his children and coughs while he's hiding. So at one level, he's not easy to find because he doesn't want to give himself away too cheaply. But at another level, he can be found. And I believe that if we look at the beauty of creation, at the way in which music moves us, at the nature of our psychology and our relationships, at our understanding of morality, at the remarkable nature of our consciousness, I think if you look honestly, there is a cough to be heard. There is that cough of God saying, excuse me, I am here. I can be found. I'm not going to spread it all cheaply on the table for you to force you to believe. But nevertheless, for those who will search and are curious and who will pursue the discussion to its end, I believe in a God who will reveal himself. In a God who coughs while he's hiding. The question is, are you and I actually looking seriously, properly? I want to encourage you. Jesus said, whoever seeks will find. And that's been the experience of many people over the centuries. I encourage you to be a seeker, to be curious, to keep asking questions. And when you're on your own, to sit and pray, God, if you're there, help me to find him. That's an honest prayer to pray. You can be an atheist and pray that prayer. God, if you're there, help me to find truth.